Hi everyone, welcome to Psychic Consultants. This is Agatha, and this is a twin flame reading for 2016. I just want to say thank you to everyone that's liked and subscribed and commented on my videos. I do read everything. I will be getting back to comments, but I've just been really busy and priority is always given to clients and to myself because if I don't look after me then I can't do anything for anybody else. So but my time has been very filled. I was inspired to do this spread kind of randomly, so I'm just going to give it a go, and I kind of saw it the way that I wanted it to be. The candle's going to be in the middle. Hopefully I won't burn myself or anything. I'm just going to use the major arcana and do a 12 card kind of yearly spread of kind of like major energies for that month, and maybe it could be helpful is the idea. And we'll just see how that goes. Okay. So I've shuffled the 22 major arcana cards from the regular Rider-Waite deck, which I like to use most of the time. I'm not sure whether you can see all of these. Excuse me. Excuse me. So I've laid out 12 cards, and I'm just going to kind of go with the flow. So the card that we have for January for twin flame, unconditional love, sacred relationship, partnerships kind of path, if that's the path that you're on. The card that I have for January is the Emperor. So what I'm getting is that I think twins are going to be not rushing in, but kind of like taking on the new year head on. I mean, this is quite a masculine card, but it does kind of tell me that the masculine energy is going to be high in both the masculine and the feminine, and a lot of energy to kind of like go out there, get it done, create your world, create your vision. Yeah, and just to be a bit careful that maybe we could see a bit of energy that's a bit too overbearing or pedantic. I mean, it's not in reverse. I don't think we're going to get in reversals because I had them all upright and then shuffled them quickly. But so I'm going to kind of do kind of positive and negative aspects that could be going on for the month for every card. So just to be a little bit careful of being a bit too overbearing with your judgments. I mean, this goes for people that are in partnership and not in partnership. That maybe you're kind of a little bit getting too into your beliefs. And so what I'm getting is that to let go of your beliefs. I mean, even if it's like things that you think are right, as in, you know, I'm on this journey, I need to be doing this, I need to be working on myself, I don't need to be doing other things, or I need to be meditating and not doing other things. It's holding on to any belief too strongly will be to your detriment. So just be a bit careful of that, maybe take it a bit easy. But I do think that twins are going to be feeling strong and ready for the new year and ready to attack the new year with a lot of energy, and there's nothing wrong with that. A lot of good energy moving forward, and that's a good thing. Okay, so the card we have for February is the Sun. So I mean, immediately, okay, the Valentine's thing kind of came up, so there could be some good peak experiences around Valentine's Day, and it is kind of the love month. The sun is a very bright, optimistic, fun-filled, youthful card. I mean, and the sun on this card is really kind of speaking to me right now, and that you will be shining your light throughout February. So this energy that, and this get up and go, and this moving forward that you have for January with the Emperor will kind of like carry you on the horse here into a really good space. And messages to get out into the sunshine as much as possible, that the sun will be a very useful aid to twins and people on the path of unconditional love in relationship. And yeah, I'm getting ride the wave. Like, it's going to be a good wave of energy and movement that's going to be carried on from your kind of conviction from January, but it'll be a bit easier, and like you'll just be a bit soft with it, and you're on the horse. You know, you're not driving the horse. You're on the horse, and with this kind of like childlike, and you know, kind of nakedness. So yeah, I think maybe you will be feeling kind of strong in your authentic self, and able to just kind of take all the armor off and take all your clothes off, the barriers basically, or the barriers to love. And that's kind of what I'm getting. And I think on both sides, and even if like there's a runner chaser dynamic going on, that there'll be a kind of uncovering of things, and maybe some revelations to some runner twins. And you know, the chaser is always the dynamic is basically the same. So it's just, I think there'll be more authenticity coming up, and more feelings of safety and security, and able to just kind of like open your arms wide and be free, and like find this even more of you. And maybe from a slightly negative side, that just to be, it's not negative, but it's just to be careful and look after yourself, because the growth might be quite fast during February, and just to kind of go with the flow, but don't get overwhelmed by it. Don't get overwhelmed. Just keep relaxing, and keep your arms out open wide. Be ready to receive. I've got as well. Be ready to receive in February. So there could be some interesting union-y things kind of happening. What I'm getting in February, and maybe even around Valentine's. Who knows? Just to mention quickly that I do feel also that this is a kind of general energies for the world aspect to this spread as well, that I'm just getting, because it is kind of like we all represent the whole world, and people quite often on the twin journey, they feel quite it is that there is a kind of trailblazing quality to it, and that we are as a collective, the whole world, reflecting these energies as well. So that's just something I wanted to mention. So moving into March, we've got the Lovers. So I mean, this is the best card that we could really want for twins, really. So I'm hearing union in March. A lot of union, a lot of stuff going on in March for some reason. And there's a good collective movement towards this. It kind of makes sense. The Emperor, and I can feel this kind of like energy and intention, basically. Like, these are what my intentions are. And then this kind of finding of the self in the sun, and authenticity that's obviously attracting union, you know. And then the sun is then reflected in this card here with the angel and the two lovers. And I often use the analogy, and people that I've worked with, they will know about the analogy I use about climbing the mountain. And I basically say that you can be, it's a journey, and you're climbing the mountain. You're going up the mountain because that's what you decided to do. That's divine will operating through you. It's you giving you instruction, basically. And quite a lot of twins they kind of allow themselves to be dragged up the mountain, hitting themselves in the face, when you just have to stand up and walk. And so maybe that's an analogy that will be helpful to some people. And it is on this card. And I've actually not really noticed it properly that well, as clear as it is now. But I am getting union. And it's interesting that there's this, especially for separated twins, you see the stance on the sun card. It's mirrored in the lovers. You see their arms are open wide here. The masculine and the feminine completely balanced, and this divine protection, angel kind of goddess. And I do feel as though that's kind of Mother Earth. And in terms of general energies for the whole kind of planet, I feel like, yeah, there's just a lot of peace and balance and love that's available to us in March. So that's a really great card to have. Moving into April, we have another great card. We have the High Priestess, which is a really good card for twins and for unconditionally loving yourself and being connected to who you really are and following your intuition and really being in tune with what I call the higher self. So during the month of April, in order to sustain the energy and that peaceful energy, it's don't lose yourself, don't lose your connection with yourself and your intuition, don't allow other things to sway you in a different direction, even your twin, ever. And remember that you create your reality and your intuition is your guidance and your GPS system, and this is what the High Priestess really embodies, and this is the advice and the guidance for April. If you're not doing that, then that is the advice. But I do feel that it is a good thing moving on from the Lovers card and Union card, and that there'll be individuals are understanding that their connection with themselves and their intuition is the best option always. Moving into May, we have the Tower. So there could be some change and some disruption around May time. I'm not that worried about it. The energy doesn't seem to be, even though it looks pretty catastrophic on the card, what I'm getting is that the energy isn't actually too bad. It's just when things do look as if they are destructive, the message that I'm getting is that it's not as bad as it seems, and really just to let things fall, and then the landing will be softer. It's like, don't put up any resistance to anything that seems to be falling away. It's meant to. And anything destroyed always makes way for new things. I do feel as though there could be some stuff coming up, maybe in partnership, that to be cleared. And I'm feeling like it could be blocks, and some twins could be triggered, and this is about uncomfortable, what some people call the shadow aspect, being uncovered, and you needing to just allow it to fall down, allow it to be seen, to play up, even any emotion that comes up, anger, or I'm feeling like it could be some maybe quite destructive emotions that might be coming up, like anger or aggression, or even sadness, or just kind of emotions that we don't want to embody, and we tend to hold on to because we're afraid to let them flow through us. So what I'm getting is that let it flow through you, and then the cleansing needn't be so difficult. And so it's just the holding on and the resistance that causes problems, and just let it all move through you. That's the message for May. Card I have for June is Strength. So looks as though, like, for May and June, there may be some things going on. There could be a little bit of separation, maybe again, or difficulty. And if separation does occur, or if you are separated in this time, that there is strength, and you do have the strength. And I love this card for twins because she has the infinity symbol above her head. And also, this is a card of gentle power, gentle knowing, and that you do have the strength in you. And this most probably is just new parts of you, new abilities, new things that think, new knowledge that's come from this breaking down of barriers. And I think it's a lot of ideas as well. I think maybe in partnership, and it doesn't necessarily need to be separation again, but it's just that a lot of your ideas again about partnership are going to be destroyed over and over and over. And if you don't allow that to happen, and you don't kind of allow it to be, and you don't understand that it's all about you, and you make it about somebody else, and this is, throughout the energy for the whole planet, really, it works for everything. If you project it out instead of allowing it to move through you, it won't go smoothly. But if you do, then it will. But whatever happens, you know that you have the strength, and you will find new things, new knowledge, and it's a beautiful energy, this. And I'm actually feeling like this energy for June it's a lovely, it's like a pulling together, and it does feel quite united. And it could be that, maybe there is one twin that needs some help, and the other needs to just step up a little bit during June, and maybe kind of like take the higher ground and look after them and be the nurturer. It might just be, I'm sensing that there's a dynamic of a nurturer and a and someone that just needs a little bit of help within that dynamic. So for July, we have the Hanged Man energy. So it's just, if anything's going on that you're not sure about, and I do think there could be just a little bit of confusion, or a little bit of just a little bit of confusion, just chill out and don't worry about it, and it will make sense at a later time. It's basically what the Hanged Man is about. It's just that, maybe you are kept a little bit hanging right now, but it's always for a good reason. It's for a reason. So it will become apparent later. The message I'm getting is that if, I feel like the energy just slows down, and you may even be used to, there could be quite a lot of partnership going on, and you could just be used to this like fast-paced thing, and maybe you're like riding the wave. You're like, I'm clearing all this stuff. It's all cool. I'm finding extra parts of me. I'm strong, and then it just all slows down, and you're kind of like, oh, it's just you're not used to it, but you need to. It's just, I use the analogy of the wave quite a lot. The wave kind of moves forward, and then it recedes and goes back, and sometimes we can freak out and be like, oh no, I'm not going in the right direction, but it always often is a surge forwards. So that's the message I'm getting for that card for July, the Hanged Man. So just don't worry about any hiatuses or periods of waiting, or where there's not much going on, or you may even feel like you're going backwards, but you're not. It's just you can't be charging forwards all the time. Sometimes you need to just stop for a while to allow other things to occur. And then for August, we have the World. So it works. It's such a lovely card to get after the Hanged Man, because it's like this little period of waiting is because there was more to see and there was more to know. The world is everything, is the card of everything, and these all kind of like four corners you can see here of different aspects of life, and there is just maybe a little bit of something that you needed to see during this period of waiting, and it does become apparent quite quickly, and you do find that you've kind of got the world in your hands. And I do feel that for August, there's going to be I'm getting a lot of union again, a lot of coming together, and not just within twin flame partnerships, but within communities, which is what I believe the twin flame journey is kind of about. It's about learning to love everybody unconditionally, with no conditions whatsoever. And when one does that, then the whole world really is your oyster. And just lots of connections and lots of things going on, and maybe even like twins taking their love out into the world in partnership, and lots of lots of that kind of completedness going on, which is really great, lovely for August. Moving into September, we've then got the Hierophant. So, I mean, this is a marriage card. There could be easily be some marriages, or just some commitments and more framework put around some twin flame relationships, is what I'm getting. And also that if there are any issues, if you either in relationship or on your own at the moment physically, to seek advice for help if you need to. So this is for September, that there is help available to you. There is the kind of strong, knowing, solid foundation that you can go to. So that either means that you're kind of like creating one, or the partnerships and the commitments of marriage and things like that, or just it could be a person that represents that kind of solidarity and framework and structure that can help you with things, or a healer, or someone that can help. So it's either that, or it's a strong indication of marriage in September. So, or engagements, things like that. Another really good card of coming together in communion. So for October, we have the Death card. So I'm getting that there's a lot of transformation, and this is real spiritual. What I'm hearing is like death of the ego. So I don't tend to like that term, like death of the ego. I don't see the ego as a bad thing or anything. I think it's to be embraced and understood and loved. So maybe that's the message for this, is that twins will be embracing the ego so as to quieten it. And that's when you do understand that we are all one. And it is this kind of like ultimate realization of connectedness, and that the illusion of separation isn't real. And so what I'm getting for this Death card is that I'm not sensing any endings to any relationships or partnerships or unions or anything. I'm just getting that there's, for everybody, a very intense transformation in terms of stepping into a new perspective of oneness, and it's the death of separation. What I'm getting that for October, the death of separation will be occurring in our perspective and in the perspective of the twin. So and just more clearing, death of ideas that don't fit the loving unconditionally way of being and living. But and lots of spiritual transformation and enlightenment. That's what I'm getting for this card for October. For November, the Wheel of Fortune. So I'm getting that this will be a playful month, that there is this kind of next level of surrender after this awakening, enlightenment, that is just complete surrender to our own divinity and our alignment with divine will, that is just this wheel that keeps on turning and that we don't actually have control of, but at the same time we do, because it's our wheel, we're all turning it. But I think I'm getting that there's this kind of playful energy with it. It's this surrender to whatever happens, and this kind of like new you that's really stepping into your divinity, and that the Wheel of Fortune is your wheel and you're turning it. But we all are, because the illusion of separation has died. So yeah, and just this a playfulness and a freedom that comes with that idea and that knowing and that way of being that will emerge in November. And then for the end of the year, for December, we've got Judgment. So it's like, I'm getting that this is a bit of a call out to the world. It's like, because I'm really feeling like this twin journey for the year is really powerful and really in alignment with unconditional love. And what I'm taking this card to mean is that this judgment call is kind of to the entire world, and that I take this to be like the twin message and the message of unconditional love, and also the understanding that once one fully embodies and lives the twin flame connection, in union or not in union, it kind of becomes irrelevant. And the same thing occurs, that you are one being that's also connected to every single being, which is you're taught through this other being that mirrors your soul so well back to you. And then there's this realization through this kind of enlightenment and this surrender into divine will, and this strength, and to call out. And I feel like every twin will just be really becoming their highest, truest kind of angel, divine human self. And this will just call out by example. It's not as though it's, because it's like you start the year with this kind of, I'm going to go out there and do it and tell everyone how to do it, including myself. I'm going to get control of myself and get control of things. But then by the end of the year, there's this kind of surrendered, like enlightened, empowered, divine you that's kind of up in the clouds here, but also very human, that's just by their very being just calling out to the rest of the world and becoming a real beacon, and understanding that that's all that it's about, just loving everyone, and that the only way you can really be in union with your twin is to be in union with everyone, because then love doesn't seem like some special thing that can only occur in this space. It occurs between us all. And for me, that's the point of being drawn to another in a way that creates so much growth and understanding of love. So I'm really excited about this next year. I'm glad that I was kind of inspired to do this spread. I do offer readings, any type of readings, for anybody in a twin flame partnership, twin flame relationship, twin flame journey, whatever you want to call it. I do offer counselling for people that are kind of struggling with it. I do card readings for a lot of other things for you. So yeah, just pop me an email. The email address is below. If you're watching this at any other time throughout the year, just know that it's exactly when you're meant to be watching it, and the messages, and just also to everyone, just follow your intuition. It's just I'm giving you my perspective from my intuition, and it's up to you to kind of like meet that where you will, because you know your truth, and you know what that feels like, and it's your path to discern that. All right, lots and lots of love. Happy New Year. I really do love you all, and I will be seeing you again very soon.